horses. That's right. Jacinda Ardern, chief of New Zealand herself, is being taken out to pasture. She's being taken to the glue factory. She is resigning. Thank God. For all of our New Zealand followers, please let us know in the comments below how this makes you feel, because I can only imagine that you are thrilled, you are over the moon, you are very excited about it. And I thought appropriately that I would promote this recent symposium that came out yesterday, which is Stelios's signature series, talking about the conceptions of political freedom, which is appropriate because I feel like Jacinda might need to give this one a watch. Do you want to give it a quick rundown? Tell everybody what they can expect watching this?
Yeah, we are having a wonderful conversation with Bo about three main traditions of conceiving of liberty in a political sense. One is the negative, that understands liberty as non-interference. The other is the positive, that understands freedom as a kind of rational self-mastery. And the third one is the Republican version of freedom, which understands freedom as non-domination. And basically what we are saying is that language can get corrupt, and there are people who are using these notions in a twisted way in order to put forward an agenda that has nothing to do with the history behind these traditions.
Sounds very interesting.
Yeah.
We'll give that a watch if you get the opportunity, but let's get further into the story, shall we? So I've got post-millennials coverage here.
Bless you.
Thank you very much. This news came very out of nowhere for a lot of people. It certainly came out of nowhere for me, because Jacinda Ardern has been such a staple in lolcow clown world politics for the past 3 years. She really started to make waves and make herself known everywhere outside of New Zealand, as far as I can tell, when she started to put down some of the most draconian lockdown restrictions during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. She included things like the absolutely ridiculous zero COVID policy, which meant that even if you had one case of COVID, bam, lockdown.
Are New Zealanders happy of clown policies?
I don't think they are. I did see some pretty based videos of a lot of them, the Maori natives and the normal New Zealand population as well, just out there doing weird Maori war dances in opposition, in protests to the New Zealand government.
Doing the haka dance.
Yes, it was really cool, actually. I respect that, and it's something the English should do more often when we want to protest the government. We should just do dances around the maypole. So that as protest. So just reading into this, so Jacinda Ardern served as Prime Minister of New Zealand since 2017. She has announced that she'll be resigning effective February 7th at the latest. What did she... I'm playing my tiny violin for the rest of this, by the way. Ardern revealed her decision at the Labour Party's annual caucus meeting on Thursday. I'm leaving because No, I'm not going to do that. I'm leaving because with such a privileged role comes responsibility, she said. The responsibility to know when you are the right person to lead and also when you are not. I know what this job takes and I know what I no longer have enough in the tank to do it justice. It's that simple. Oh, my violin broke. I don't care. I'm very glad to see her go. I will say, if you've got nothing left in the tank, you must have been running on fumes for a long time, because you missed the boat. You missed the boat on when you realise when you're not the right person for the job. But then again, given the agenda that we exist in right now is global, and the COVID agenda was massive and across the entire world, I suppose for your paymasters, you were the right person for the job, and now she has simply run her course. Of course, a lot of the underlying, what's implicit in this, is not necessarily that she doesn't want to do the job anymore, or isn't fit for the job anymore. It's that the people who are pulling her strings don't think that she is fit for the job anymore. Because before, she was the compassionate, she was the kind, she was the oh so brave, feminine Prime Minister of New Zealand. And then everybody hates her. Literally everybody hates her now. I'll go through this. So the election is scheduled to be held on October 14th. During her time as leader, her government imposed on the people of New Zealand some of the strictest COVID-19 restrictions in the world. At the onset of the pandemic, for example, books were deemed non-essential as Ardern and other officials attempted to keep people in their homes. So this was books and bookshops were deemed non-essential, so they couldn't open. I think that's a weird example for post-millennial to immediately jump to, but I know why they did it. It's because they go, oh, they just didn't let you read books. Do you know who else wasn't a fan of books? It was the Nazis. And I get why we do it. But can we stop with the boomerisms? It's just, I'm tired of hearing literally everything bad compared to Nazis. Can we just have it be bad on its own terms? I find it funny that that's the first go-to there. But August 2021, following a 6-month period where no cases were recorded, I forgot that this happened. I entirely forgot that this happened. Ardern sent the entire country into level 4 lockdown for 3 days when one single man in Auckland tested positive. Wow. Genius. That's some statesmanship right there. I mean, brilliant.
I think maybe she's now resigning because she wanted to have the Simpsons Dome over New Zealand.
So they're bringing in Tom Cruise to institute that policy instead. The government of New Zealand has lost its credibility, so it's borrowing some of mine. No, wait, no, that was Tom Hanks. Bugger. Sorry, I buggered that one up. But anyway, those who chose not to adhere to the draconian policies were hit with heavy penalties, including fines of up to $8,400. Ardern was also an ardent supporter of tightening restrictions on New Zealanders' online activity, calling for increased censorship. After years of clamping down on the freedoms of her citizens, Ardern's popularity ain't looking good. Began to plummet, it says here. A December 2022 poll revealed that her support was down to just 33%. And I wonder if that had anything to do with a particular story that I unearthed, which I, haven't included here, so I'll just talk about it right now, where they, in New Zealand, a couple was with a newborn who had a heart condition, was told that the child needed a blood transplant. The parents said, okay, but we'll only accept blood from somebody who didn't take the COVID vaccines. The New Zealand government said, no, we don't think you will, and confiscated the baby from them temporarily so they could perform the blood transfusion without their permission. I wonder if actions like that have anything to do with Jacinda Ardern's plummeting popularity, and support for the centre-right National Party sat at around 39%, and in the first polls of the new year, they continue to hold the lead. So I hope New Zealand's centre-right party is nothing like England's centre-right Conservative Party, in which case that you will still get the dome, but at least it won't have a gigantic rainbow flag printed on it, so there's that at least.
And at least they will feel bad about it.
Yeah, they'll definitely feel bad about it. They'll have, and then down the line there'll be a Spectator article talking about, I was always against the dome, You know, you'll get that, but you will still get the dome. And let's go through a few more of Jacinda Ardern's greatest hits. So there was this time when she just outright stated that she is the truth, I am the truth, and to be honest, I can't handle this truth. So let's play this clip if we remember.
The most up-to-date information daily. You can trust us as a source of that information. You can also trust the Director General of Health and the Ministry of Health. For that information, do feel free to visit at any time to clarify any rumour you may hear. covid19.govt.nz. Otherwise, dismiss anything else. We will continue to be your single source of truth. We will provide information frequently. We will share everything we can, everything else you see, a grain of salt. And so I really ask people to focus on
that. The most egregious example of that appears to be this text which originated in Malaysia and has become a viral hoax in Australia and in New Zealand. How irresponsible is it the people that are sharing that news of a lockdown imminent in New Zealand?
Yeah, and look, that's the kind of thing that adds to the anxiety that people feel. So I continue to share the message. New Zealanders must prepare, but do not panic. Prepare. And when you see those messages, remember that unless you hear it from us, it is not the truth. And I really ask people, just visit covid19.govt.nz. It has all of the up-to-date information, and we will continue to provide everything you need.
And wouldn't you trust that face? Wouldn't you trust that?
Hell no.
42 she is. Somehow, 42 years old. If there is any greater evidence that Jacinda Ardern and others like her have sold their soul, is to recognise that Jacinda Ardern is 42 years old. That's it.
It's pretty suspicious when people go around saying, trust me, hear no one, you know.
Not just trust me.
Yeah.
I am the truth.
Yeah.
I am the truth. Okay, she's like Judge Dredd
Yeah.
It's basically what that sounds like to me. There was this other classic clip that was shared recently as well, the we all remember, but let's play it anyway, just as a little reminder.
So you basically said this is going to be like, well, it's almost like, you probably don't see it like this, the two different classes of people. If you're vaccinated or if you're unvaccinated, you have all these rights. If you are vaccinated...
That is what it is, so yep.
Can you describe, because you were previously hoping not to have to do that, I guess, when we still looked like we could maintain elimination across the whole country. I guess that has now changed because...
I think it was less because necessarily of the elimination determining that, and more because we, of course, maintained, and actually we have managed very high vaccination rates generally without the use of certificates. But actually what it's become clear to me is that they're not just a tool to drive up vaccines, they're a tool for confidence. People who have been vaccinated will want to know that they're around other vaccinated people. They want to know that they're in a safe environment. It is a way that we can give confidence to those who are going back into hospitality or events. And so that is something that I think we should offer to people who have been vaccinated, that confidence that we're doing everything we can to keep them safe and that they can come back out and start enjoying those things safely.
And I thought the whole point of a vaccine is that I don't need everybody around me to be vaccinated to be safe. But no, that was when she was advocating for the pushing of COVID vax passes, as you would expect, because they all were, they still are. Digital IDs, sadly, are in all likelihood still coming. You should watch my segment that I did the other week on the WHO and the secret meetings that they've been having, which we'll see what goes on with that. But yeah, just like straight up asking. So you're creating, this is going to sound extreme, but you're creating a second class, like a 2-tier second class citizen thing? Yes. Yes, I am. Big smile on her face. We're doing it so we can inspire confidence. That's why she was popular, I imagine, for a lot of people at first, because she could do all of the evil things that the regime wants, but because she's a woman with the toothiest grin you've ever seen in your entire life, because she's a woman who looked like that, it gave this kind of warm, like, oh, she just cares about me. It's like me mum. It's like me mum. She just cares about... No, she doesn't. No, she doesn't. They put it behind the warm smile of femininity, but
she
really
cares
just
about
evil.
her position.
Yeah, obviously.
And her posture.
Like they all do. But now that they're gone, now that she's going, I should say, a lot of people on our side of the aisle are celebrating. A lot of New Zealanders, I'm sure, are also very happy about this, although still pensive about who she's going to be replaced by and what's going to happen in this upcoming October election. So I just thought I'll Google Jacinda Ardern's name. Surely there'll be a lot of articles talking about her. And there were. And here's a cross-reference of just a few of the headlines that I saw so we can take the temperature on the mainstream response to this. The Week says, speaking from the heart, Jacinda Ardern's legacy. RNZ says, Jacinda Ardern's defining legacy serving New Zealand. RTE.ie, whoever they are. New Zealand's Ardern leaves legacy of kindness, but also disappointments. So it wasn't that she was actively malicious. She was trying ever so hard to be kind. She just let herself down at a few points. And
she was feeling bad when she did
She
this.
felt so bad. She felt terrible when she did it. And we've got this time...
Isn't that enough to stop whining?
I mean, maybe. Maybe. I'm starting to feel bad. I mean, I'm sure she just wanted the best. She just wanted the best. We've got Time magazine's article saying Jacinda Ardern led with her heart. I can only imagine these read in sort of like a... in
politics that doesn't end well.
In this kind of voice, you know? It's the kind of voice that's soothing, puts you off edge, gets you all nice and comfortable. Jacinda Ardern led with her heart. That's one reason she's leaving now. So her heart is just given up on her. She's just not got enough left to give. She needs to I mean, she's only 42 and she already looks like bloody Voldemort. So, you know, something's gone wrong there. The Liberal leader secured her place as a household name for her swift yet compassionate response to the 2019 Christchurch mosque shootings and for hugging first responders after a deadly volcano eruption in 2019. Ardern also followed in the rare footsteps of Pakistan's late Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto when she gave birth while in office in 2018. None of these are political achievements. So she made a pithy speech after a shooting. She hugged some people after a disaster, and she gave birth, which I'm sorry to break to you, is what women are designed to do biologically speaking. So none of these are particular political achievements. I mean, congratulations on the child. You know, that's excellent. The fact that you did manage to do it while in office is commendable to a certain extent, maybe. But what were your actual politics like? What were your policies like? Well, they give her a nice rundown of her legacy. October 2020, Ardern oversees a landslide victory for Labour and installs the most diverse government and parliament ever. Okay, I'm not just going to applaud that automatically. We're living in an increasingly polarised world, a place where more and more people have lost the ability to see one another's point of view. I hope that this election, New Zealand has shown that this is not who we are, that as a nation we can listen and we can debate, she said. Her Labour Party won a landslide victory on the election on the back of New Zealand's successful early response to the pandemic. Well, that goodwill dried up quick. With a new mandate, Ardern appointed 8 women, 5 Indigenous Maori ministers, and a gay deputy prime minister. Just by itself, none of this is anything to be celebrated. Are these people good at their jobs? That's all I care.
Yeah.
That's all I care. And if we just go down, we can see the article goes to 2021 and then ends. And then it just ends. 2021, she has very strict lockdown policies with COVID. Her popularity starts to unravel. No more achievements. Leave it. We don't want to talk about anything in 2022. People hate her now. Just get it. Cut and run is what this article does. Right when they know that they're going to have to start talking about some of the difficulties in her leadership run.
I hope it's not part 1 of an article, though, and we get a part 2.
I'd be interested to see how Time tries to sell 2022 and the Vax passes and everything else. You can see they've given the most brief overview of some of the things that she did. We've also got in the UK, we've got Sky News trying to run cover for her with this clip from Bernie's tweet. So just play this for us, John.
Warm welcome to you. Thank you for joining us. Jacinda Ardern was very refreshing in her leadership. She had an authenticity and compassion that you rarely see in world leaders. Your reaction to this news that she's decided to step down? Some feel it's too soon.
And if we're just telling outright lies, yeah, she was refreshing, she was authentic, she was compassionate, she looked useful, she was glowing, she was beautiful. If we're just going to add more lies, original.
Her policies remind me of no other policies around the world.
I know, it didn't seem to be coordinated or anything. Yeah. And then we've got celebrities saying very stupid things like Pink, saying there will be never another like you. I wish there were. You have my admiration, my respect, my well wishes for you and your beautiful family. I've watched you shine uniquely and bravely from afar. Thank you for showing the rest of the world what's possible. People were questioning whether Pfizer typed this particular message up for Pink to just post on her social media. But no, Pink is just this stupid that I think these are her original thoughts. And then Do you know who
is that? Pink, the
singer? You know, so what? I'm still a rock star, acting very much like a rebellious rock star in this tweet here. Certainly, we also had Kim.com of all people. Now, I'm not too familiar with Kim.com, but I did know that he came a bit to prominence recently with the whole Twitter files thing. He was he was shouting on Elon, saying, "Yes, get us our freedom back, Elon. You can do it. Go on, our son." But then, out of nowhere, he reveals himself to, frankly, be a bit of an enemy here by posting out Jacinda Ardern just resigned as Prime Minister of New Zealand. She's been subject to much criticism and abuse. I believe she's tried her best. She had a great start, and then came COVID-19. I wish Jacinda and little Neve all the best. So,
why is effort so? We want success from politicians.
That's generally what we're looking for.
Yeah.
Just trying your best. Yeah. If you try your best, unlike
do
Coldplay,
they want you to pay your taxes or to try to pay your taxes?
That's a good question, actually, isn't it? Which one am I going to prison for? Listen, man, I tried. Listen, I'll try again next year, IRS. HM Revenue and Customs, please. I'll try again next year.
And I feel bad.
Yeah, I feel bad about it, guys. Come on, my heart just wasn't in it. Yeah. But I was shocked to see something like this because, once again, Kim.com, he was somebody who was saying that he was all for freedom, he was all for this and that. But it turns out he might have just been grifting because even David Wolf, who I'm not too familiar with, but I'm aware that people think David Wolf's a bit of a nutter. Is he a flat earther? He
I
might.
don't know.
He might be. I don't want to strawman David Wolf. I don't know who he is properly, but he came out just saying, "Bro, she's a Freemason in their club. She's never had your best interest in mind or anybody else's. She's closing up shop and probably moving up the Freemason hierarchy for obeying her master's orders. She's a tyrant and a disgrace to the human race." To which Kim.com just decides he's going to double down in the next tweet. He just says, "I disagree. I know Jacinda." All right, she's a good person. Tried her hardest to protect the New Zealanders, but if that's what you want to call it, okay. She's become a victim of US, and then saying things that I don't think I'm allowed to say on YouTube, and I will disavow for the purposes of YouTube. But Kim.com coming across either as very naive or honestly like a bit of controlled opposition, if I'm perfectly honest. And just to close this off, goodbye, Jacinda, but remember there are still absolute nutcases and tyrants all over the world, including Trudeau, Fidel Castro's favourite child, who decided that to put out some new government recommendations in Canada, talking about how alcohol you should only keep to two drinks in a week. That's all you need, which was very strange because at the same time they've decided they're going to legalise small amounts of crack and heroin in a few weeks. Yeah. Just completely the fact that it doesn't make sense is the point, right? The point is they don't want it to make sense because that keeps people confused, that keeps people on their toes, that keeps people always guessing. It prevents them from organising, it prevents them from getting any action. If we're all getting too annoyed looking at everybody going like, "Oh, Canada says that 2 drinks a week is bad, but also heroin," that's the point. That's the point. They want to ruin your neighbourhoods, they want you to be immiserated, and they want everybody to just be very confused. But at the very least, Jacinda Ardern is gone. Good riddance to you as soon as you are gone. But still, that doesn't change the fact that we are led by complete and utter clowns.
If you appreciated that segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content we have on the site, such as the premium hangouts we do, this most recent one on I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. If you'd like to find out what else we're putting out, you can follow us on Getter at lotuseaters_com on Getter. Thank you and goodbye.